Hello everyone, welcome to FO Golf channel, the standard golf instructions. So in this episode we're going to talk about number 3 chipping release. Hopefully you all have watched the previous 2 episodes when we talk about number 1 release and number 2 release. So what is number 3 release? The name that we use at FO Golf, we called it a lag release. Okay, and the truth is, whenever you have any type of energy that's output or acceleration, there's always lag, even really when you do the number 1 release or number 2 release, right? But this one, we're going to use a lot more lag to create a little bit more of what I call the club head gets under the ball. Now remember, it's very different than when you scoping, like when you scoop it or you try to get under the ball with your wedges manually with your right hand, with your trailed hand. If you're doing that, that just means you're not really swinging. You just, try to scoop the ball off the ground. But with lag release, it's going to give you that feeling, but you will be able to execute the shot properly and get the correct result. Now, with lag release, when you chip, the idea is that the ball is going to go higher and it's going to give you a lot more backspin. Okay, so today we're going to talk about, now obviously if you guys have watched our previous episodes when we're talking about lag just means you have acceleration from center, right? So in other words, right now you can see if I hold the wedges with my right hand or left, okay, we talked about how if you accelerate with your center movement, with your core, all right, with your hips, so you can see right there I did a kind of, there is a sort of what I call the tail, right? You can see right here, right? So let's watch one more time and actually move this way a little bit. You can see if I go to the top, okay, and my right hand, my wrist on my right hand is very relaxed. See, right? Okay. All right. So that's the reason why we call it a lag release, because it's a noticeable movement. Okay, and the truth is, even when you're putting, there's lag putts. Okay, there's always the lag. Lag just means there's got to be a reaction to the acceleration and to the energy. And now you can see I'm going to put 2 hands on it, and I want to do the same thing. And I won't worry about wrist hinge. Remember, the wrist hinge is going to be part of the lagging. Right? You can see the wrist hinge is part of the lagging. Now obviously if you manually do a wrist hinge, which is on number 2 release, you kind of do it softly. Okay, so there's your manual wrist hinge. Now obviously you still have to turn your body and your hips, right? We talked about number 2 release. Alright, so today we're dealing with number 3 release, meaning I have a motion, my body's turning, and I'm allowing my wrists, my left and my right, to absorb the energy, so that way there is sort of a hinge movement, right? As you can see, right? Now why is this important is because if I need to get the club under the ball, okay, to create a little bit more loft and to create a little bit more underspin, right? Well, you can see I actually scope that one, right? So let's do it one more time. Right? And did that again because I'm using my right hand, right? The idea is that if I put my left hand on it, because if I want to get the club under the ball, right? Well, it says I cannot do this to get the club under the ball. If I do that, you can see my shaft, it's not leaning forward and my hands are not leaning forward, or my hands are not before the ball. So what we want to do is, if you can see right now, I'm going to use my left hand now. We're going to create lag motion from here, right? So as you can see right now, on the downswing, the shaft, because my body rotation, the hands are way in front of the ball. Okay, so once the hands are in front of the ball, then I can utilize the weight of the club, because there's lagging motion. The weight of the club is going to glide through the ball. Okay, and then the ball is going to go a little bit higher and lands a little bit softer, and it will give you a lot more backspin, or really check spin, right? So we're gonna do it one more time, okay? I'm gonna do it very slowly. As you can see, all I'm doing is just what I call the standard setup, right? All right, we're gonna do it one more time. As you can see, I'm gonna turn my body, and then I won't hinge here. I'm going to allow the lagging motion to hinge the wrist. And then if you do it very slowly, watch this. If I do it very slowly, now my body's gonna accelerate and the club's gonna hinge. As you can see, it creates a lot more wrist angle. And then on the downswing bottom, because my body's moving forward, as you can see, the hands are way in front of the ball. And then I'm going to use the momentum, which I call the energy that's getting through, how the club is going to drop through. And by doing that, you can absolutely get the club head under the ball. All right, we're going to do a couple times. All right, so lag release. Okay, matter of fact, if you guys can see it, that ball has a lot of spin on it. I'm going to do it one more time. Wow, look at that. Unfortunately, you can't see it, but the ball just checks. All right, so I'm going to do it one more time. As you can see, I'm actually getting the club head underneath the ball. But remember, there's a difference between you actually use your hands. Because if you use your hands right now, chances are you really don't have that much acceleration and the correct energy. The correct energy has to come from your center motion, your critical mass. Right? I'm going to do a couple times. Lag release. There's a lot of spin on that ball. Okay? A lot of spin on that ball. As you can see, I'm going to do it very slowly. Okay? It does look like I'm scooping upward, but the reason why I'm not hitting it thin is because the club head, the shaft, gets right in front of the ball as it comes through. Vice versa, if I'm using my hands, the club head gets in front of the shaft. So chances are then you're not using the bounce angle, then you will thin the shots. Okay? So we're going to do one more time. This is called a lag release. Okay? Hip rotation, core rotation slowly. Acceleration, hands forward, because the acceleration is going to create this lagging motion, and you use the energy and the speed to drop the club head underneath the ball. Okay? That's the only way you can hit a very consistent shot when you chip, to get the club head under the ball. Okay? If you let the club head, if you manually scoop it, chances are your shaft is behind the ball. And then you will hit it thin, or sometimes you will hit it fat. Alright, so that was lag release. Hopefully I make it my explanations very clear to you guys. If you guys have any questions, email me or leave a comment, let me know. So today that was number 3 release, which is the lag release of a chipping. Again, like I say, we have not deal with stance, ball position, and face angle. Okay, so just wait a minute, just say right now I'm gonna do a lag release. We'll have a 60-degree right now. I'm just gonna open it up even more. So now it's very open right now. Actually, I thinned that one. Let's do one more. Nobody's perfect, right? Okay. Open the face. That ball just checked and stopped. Matter of fact, you can see I'm using a lot of what I call the turf reaction with my bounce angle. Okay? So it might look like I hit it fat, but I didn't, because it really digs through. The club head is getting under the ball. Alright, so thank you for watching. See you next time. In the next lesson, we're going to talk about number 4 release. Don't forget to subscribe, share with your friends. Thank you.